sound gone? Is it this one, right? Yeah. You're live.
In this video, I want to show you how to make an absolutely amazing hollandaise sauce. And all you need to do is melt a stick of butter, you need an espresso machine with a steam wand, and you need a blender. And it's a really quick recipe. It makes the best hollandaise I've ever had, and I think it's because it's heating while whipping, which is usually a lot of work with a double boiler. This works even better. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is melt 2 sticks of butter. Now usually I do it in a microwave, but microwave is kind of ugly on camera, so we're gonna do it here on a hob. And since it takes a little bit of time, I'm gonna get it started while I do the rest of the recipe. So this is a double pack of French butter. This is salted butter I'm using in this recipe. If you have unsalted, no problem. Just add a little bit more salt at the end. Now, one key consideration with this recipe is you don't want the butter to cook at all. You want it to just barely melt. So I'm actually going to turn the temperature down on this so that it doesn't heat too quickly. All right, next, I'm going to put all the non-butter ingredients into the blender. So the first one is 1 whole egg. Okay. Next is 7 grams of French Dijon mustard. Okay. And you don't have to be super precise with these things. These are all rough recipe measurements I've done that have worked well. Meanwhile, you can see our butter is starting to melt. Okay. Next would be 1 gram salt. Now, as I mentioned, your salt amount will vary on whether you're using salted butter or not. Okay, I'm going to be making an eggs benedict with this, and that eggs benedict is going to have quite salty ham. So I am not putting too much salt in here. So there we go. Lemons turn out to be quite tricky because here in Hong Kong, the local audience insists on things being really fresh. And so these, I don't know if you can see, these are incredibly juicy, fresh lemons. And I saw another recipe that said put the juice of 1 lemon in, and it was incredibly citrusy. It was really awful. So I have instead given you a weight measurement here. And what I do to juice a lemon is we rolled it on the table ahead of time so as to soften it up. And then with a fork, I'm just going to run back and forth. And what I'm looking for here is 10 grams of lemon juice. And since lemon is a really important part of the flavor of hollandaise, I really recommend you use a fresh lemon and not canned lemon juice at this point. Okay. The butter is almost melted. And then the last part, which is super important, you do need to put a little bit of water in here. Otherwise, there's just too much fat, and the hollandaise sauce will not whip up into a creamy emulsion. So it's 20 grams of water. I put a little bit too much, 21 is good. All right, and now I'm going to blend this mix here. Okay, that is good to go. all I'm waiting here is for my butter to finally melt. I think if I used a smaller vessel, the butter would have stayed in the center and melted a bit faster. Now you can see I'm just getting it to a temperature where it just barely melts because I really want the fresh dairy flavor that comes from cultured butter. So one other important thing is you need to use European butter, cultured butter. If you make this with American butter that's not cultured, it will be much less tasty. It will lack that nice dairy note. Okay, so I am happy with that. So now what I'm going to do, let's go to camera 1 here. I'm going to be turning this on and I'm going to pour the butter into this while it's whipping. Now there are other recipes out there that have you stop at that point because the hot butter is going to partially cook the eggs and should give us a kind of runny hollandaise. That is essentially a proto hollandaise that will then finish in the espresso machine. Okay, so going to the top camera here, you can see this is now a hollandaise sauce. Okay, and actually go to the side camera, we can hopefully see this quite nicely. That's our hollandaise sauce, but it is still too runny. It hasn't thickened enough, but it is a nice emulsion. So our last step is to finish cooking it in the espresso machine steam. Now I'm going to heat it up to 75 Celsius and I'm going to set the thermometer to start beeping at 70. And then I'm going to let it sit for a second as the heat goes around. Now I do put the thermometer all the way at the bottom because one of the things I found that was a mistake was if I let the thermometer sit at the top, I didn't actually get a good temperature reading. I'm also putting the steam wand here so that I'm going to get some frothing, some moving motion. Because I'm really looking to try and imitate essentially what I would be doing whipping. So you can see that's now spinning it nicely. Okay, we're already... Okay. And I'm just going to let this sit for a second. Wipe off the steam wand. And maybe turn that off so it doesn't annoy us in the video. And this is already pretty thick, but we're going to finish it just a little bit more. Okay. All right, we're at 73 Celsius. That is actually the target temperature I wanted. You saw at the end of the steaming, it was just starting to gurgle and bubble a little bit. And what I found is if you heat this to 80 Celsius, you'll get considerable gurgling. So if you go to the top camera here, you'll see this is really actually quite stiff now, right? It's not actually falling apart. And that's a nice stiff hollandaise, and the reason I'm sitting and waiting now is I'm just letting the heat distribute and cook everything. Because generally what's happening is the steam was cooking in its wake. The steam is sending a lot of heat through there, and that center part that was spinning got nice and hot, but the edges are not completely at the same temperature. So we waited about 1 minute, and now we are ready to blend our hollandaise, and we will be done. Now, the video is not done until we make an Eggs Benedict, which will be the last step from this. So there we go. We now have beautiful, beautiful, can't say it enough, beautiful. It's really, really beautiful and thick lovely Hollandaise. Okay. And let's go to the side camera. Let's get every view we can of this. So there we are. Okay, and the right color. Just everything about this is perfect. And one of the things I really like about this recipe is we are fully cooking the eggs. The other recipes will often have you whip until the eggs just start to cook and the sauce thickens. The problem then is the sauce can fall apart really easily. It also shouldn't be kept very long. This has been heated to 75 Celsius. The eggs essentially turn hard boiled around 65 to 68 Celsius. So this I will keep in the fridge for up to a week. Whenever I want to use it again, it's in the blender, I just blend it again and I put it usually on a warm pan just to heat up and serve. So dreamy Hollandaise all the time. If you're looking to add a little bit of winter fat to your belly, this is the way to do it. Now, let me show you how I make eggs Benedict. So, I'm going to put a few things away. Now, for me, since I'm in Hong Kong, I do eggs Benedict slightly a different way. This is a vegetable called dao miu, which is pea sprouts, which is kind of like spinach meets peas, and we use this instead of using spinach. So all I'm doing here is just cooking this lightly so that it wilts. You can see it steaming up. And this is very much like using wilted spinach. Okay. That's far enough along. Now, in most kitchens, I'd have 2 hobs. Here I only have 1. My favorite poached egg, and I worked on poached eggs for basically every day for a summer, involves sous vide. Now what I've done is I have pre-cooked this egg at 65 Celsius for 2 hours. So what that's done is it's caused the egg yolk to be quite creamy, but the egg white is still a bit gelatinous and a bit gross. If you've ever had a sous vide egg in a restaurant, often the egg white's pretty slimy. This gets the best of both worlds. It gets us a firm white and a soft, creamy yolk. The other advantage of this is this egg is pasteurized, so when I buy fresh eggs, I will sous vide at 65 all my eggs, put them in the fridge, and then within 1 minute I have a sous vide poached perfect egg ready to eat. So here we are. What I'm going to do is crack this egg into another bowl, and one of the things that's really nice about these sous vide eggs as well is that they are perfectly round. You don't have that problem that you have with poached eggs of having this long, phlegmy kind of bit that you have to trim or it makes a mess in the water. So we're going to have to wait a second for that water to boil. And while we're waiting for that, I will prepare my muffin. So what I've got here is an English muffin that I've toasted. The first layer on eggs Benedict is ham. Again, we're in Hong Kong. We have a ready supply of beautiful pata negra ham from Spain from a discount store, so that's what we all eat tons of here. Right. And then on top of that, we're going to put our blanched greens. Now, once again, I've used pea sprouts, which are a winter vegetable special among Chinese populations. It's a very much a seasonal thing. You can get it worldwide wherever there are Chinese immigrants. Ask for pea sprouts or dao miu or dao mia, depending if it's Cantonese or Mandarin that you're speaking to. Now the last thing we're waiting for is the poached egg. And what I'm going to do is just make a little hollow here, because ideally once I poach the egg, it'll sit there and not be man overboard. All right, I'm going to try and make it pretty. And I'm preparing my sauce. So that's just about boiling. And what you do is you just drop your egg in like that. And you need this for 1 minute, and that 1 minute is going to cook the outside as well as warm it up again. Okay, now I probably should have used something a little bit deeper. And one thing I'm also realizing I forgot was a slotted spoon, so I'm going to just use a fork and a spoon to lift this out, but a slotted spoon definitely helps. And what you'll see when you do eggs this way is there's 2 egg whites, which are creatively called number 1 and number 2 egg white. Okay, so there we are, nice and boiling. And the egg white number 2 tends to come off. That's what I've got over here, and we're not going to use that. We're just going to use this poached egg that's right here. Like that, and let's cut that open. And then finally, this is really beautifully whipped. And one of the things you can see that it makes this a good hollandaise is it's got this shine to it, right? And a lot of captured bubbles. It really is beautifully whipped. And there's no splitting or anything. This is about as good as hollandaise ever gets. So there you go. There's our eggs Benedict from a homemade hollandaise made on an espresso machine. Thanks for watching. Do try this at home and let me know how it goes. Okay, don't stop.
Oh, you're back up?
Yep, okay. Now for a bit of extra special, it is our Christmas Eve special meal here at Decent Espresso. And so come on up. We have Michael, who is our chef. Hey, Michael. So Michael is going to make a triple recipe because we're making eggs Benedict for all 27 people who are here for our Christmas meal. So Michael doesn't speak English, Paul does. So Paul's going to walk Michael through. I'm going to take the hot water away. That you're going to need to melt the butter, and I'm going to go eat this now.
Looks good, John. It's very good. Right. So Michael's going to be helping us make the portions for 3 today, and 3 is the magic number, and all we're going to do is just times the ingredients by 3. So we're going to use 3 eggs, 21 grams of mustard, 3 grams of salt, 30 grams of lemon juice, and then 60 grams of water on top to make the great consistency that we've just seen. So I guess we're going to melt the butter, Michael. Yep. Đúng rồi thì dùng vài cái ầu gạo xíu nó phải là. Alright. And I've never actually made this sauce more than twice. So actually watching John do this really was enlightening to see how simple it was. I remember promising my partner basically egg Benedict, and you know, even doing the poached egg with the vinegar and all this and that. Took me hours of preparation, and then I immediately went, I'm not doing this again, it's a little bit too hard. But actually seeing John's process with the sous vide egg and the steam one, I think it's at least going to give it another go and see if I can add it to my breakfast repertoire. Alright, so this is a lot of butter though. I don't think you're kidding about putting on the extra weight for winter.
I will join us. Well, we have 27 people, so I did mention that the recipe I just made makes a very, very generous 6 eggs Benedict. So while you are looking at 2 sticks of butter, you're only eating about 1/3 a stick of butter per portion. So it's almost diet food.
Diet food. Well, your diet sounds great, John.
So we've got 18 there, and then with the next we're going to be at 24 portions of Hollandaise, which we're going to just be slightly mean with and stretch it to 27 people worth.
All right.
The only thing I'm worried about is getting all that butter into the blender. So I think I'm gonna go run away and get you a spoon so you can ladle the butter in.
Okay.
So I'll be back while these guys finish the recipe.
Right. So I guess we're also cleaning the blender as well, but gonna make good use of my time and weigh out the lemon juice for Michael here. Ah, yes.
應該係要打心嘅蛋，因為冇雞蛋。
唔係啊，我哋轉頭會加埋呢個上去嘅，咁全部啲嘢。
哦，即係我哋唔使整好。
係啦。
好嘅。
咁我幫你放埋個檸檬先。
呢個熟嘅。
哦，呢個熟嘅。
係啊。
等等啊，呢個係咪我哋要轉頭？呢個冇出過先。因為咧有一個人咧。Okay. So try not to get browned butter here, so just turning down the flame a little bit. Team's keeping an eye on for us. You can tell I'm not the chef here today. Okay.
I have brought a clean blender.
Oh, fantastic.
All right.
All right, so take this away for now.
Okay, you want that? There you go, Paul. You want to plug that in while you're in there?
Yep, sure. Thank you. Should leave that there if that's all right.
Yeah, it's just fine. All right.
All right, so I'm just gonna sort out.
That's going to block the view of you, so maybe put that below.
Sure.
Like that.
Okay.
Should we rotate that?
There we go.
The small blender is not needed.
Yeah.
No.
Can you?
3 eggs. Yes, I guess we can put that inside.
Yeah.
Is it off camera now?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's our 3 eggs. We've got the triple sets of butter. Now we've got about 20 grams of mustard that needs to get measured out, but you can do that after the
Okay.
lemon juice. That's fine.
So,
You're looking for 30 grams of lemon juice.
Okay.
Almost there at 19.
Almost there. And I've just got lemon juice in my cut, John, and I've just got
Ah.
on my finger. It's really painful. We'll strive on. Okay, so 26,
Can
27.
you move the ball so that the reading on the
Ah,
scale
sure.
will show?
Go.
Okay, so 29.2.
That's good enough.
Okay. All right,
Alright.
now just the mustard.
21.
21 grams.
I'm going to do the same thing. Move it here.
Yeah. Okay, 22.
That's close enough.
All right. Right.
And let's not forget the salt.
The salt.
And there's a little, there you go.
Tumbler here. Okay, so it's 3 grams of salt.
We're going to make a cook out of you.
Yeah?
I think you've got too much already there.
I do.
I think when Mike has a day off, maybe eggs Benedict for everybody.
We'll have to move the DU1 into the kitchen, John.
I think we can do that. All right.
Okay, I've got
2.8.
2.8.
I think I'm happy with that.
All right.
So let's put that into the blender. And let's not forget the water.
Okay.
Okay, why don't we could just use this little cup here.
Sure.
We need, no. We need to measure.
Oh, it's Ted already, so.
Tear to this?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right, so, okay, no problem.
So just
Never mind.
need another 8 grams, I guess?
I don't know, we need 60 grams
60
total.
grams total, okay. So I have 50 there, I'll add that and add another 10. Oh,
I think you can turn the butter off.
Okay. Okay, 9.6.
All right.
Okay. Mix all the ingredients, just make some room.
That on there. Now, as mentioned before, I have lost the top to the blender, and so we're going to use a rag to cover it, keep it from splashing us. Do the honors, Paul.
Okay.
So first blend, and then Michael's going to assist after his blending.
So pulse.
Yeah, let's turn it down. There we go. All right.
All right.
So now we can turn it on and take the lid off.
All right.
If you want, you can also just pour the butter in there. If that's easier.
Right.
So I'm gonna just take that back a little bit there. Why don't you show the camera with a spoon what that looks like?
Okay, just use this.
All right, so that's nice and that's actually fairly thick.
That's pretty thick already.
Yeah, and that's probably because there was so much hot butter.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we stick a thermometer in there and see what temperature we're at.
Okay.
So we're only at 47. So
Yeah,
I would
John, just, yeah.
I would like to get that up to 70, 75 rather. And what I'd recommend we do, so we don't make a mess, is we're going to put the lid on and then go through there.
Okay.
You ready, Paul? Actually, let's try one more thing.
How are we gonna?
Yeah, exactly.
The thermometer, right?
Exactly. He saw the flaw in my plan. What I'm going to do is I'm setting the thermometer. Greasy fingers. Setting it to 70, putting it in like that. Now that's going to beep as you approach 70. And you're going to try and do that. All right, that is just a mess. All right, maybe we need a larger thermometer next time.
Hang on. Yeah.
You're going to come in from the side?
I'm thinking, could I take this off?
You can take it off. You'll have an easier life of it. Okay. We have a drowned
We have a drowned thermometer.
thermometer. All
I
right.
think I could probably do it like this
All right.
and hold it here.
I'm
like
going to
this.
do that.
Okay.
I think maybe the single recipe works better. All right. You can hear it spinning around.
Now, do I want to let any air into this, John, or
I
am
wouldn't
just
really
letting...
worry about it. We're just going to stop when it starts to beep.
Okay. Ah, so when it beeped at the temperature you set, it just started to gurgle.
Yeah.
That's
so,
really interesting.
All right. So there we are. Let me wipe off your arm.
Thank you.
Let's just put that right in there.
All right.
Ask for later cleaning. So I would say this recipe is optimized for a single portion. This is the first time, by the way, we've ever made a bulk portion. But oh, look at that. It needs blending. So show that again, Michael. Show it this way. Ooh. Yeah, you can see it's chunky. And that's because it still needs one final blending. So let's put the lid on. Okay.
Okay. Let's get it on.
Here we go.
Here we are.
Come back, Michael. You're not done yet. All right.
Okay. Good.
Stop. All right.
All right.
Now, Michael, do the honors and show the sauce. Yeah. Now it's nice and smooth. Beautiful.
Nice.
So that is how you make Hollandaise for 30 people at once. Probably get a thermometer with a longer probe next time you try it. Otherwise, not a bad first effort.
It was
yeah,
fun. That was quite fun.
Thank you.
A couple of things for you. Someone said earlier when you were putting that big amount of blender under the steam, someone said, I'm nervous. Adam says, I bet John wasn't expecting to ever do this when designing the first DC.
Not really.
And Adam also says, a local coffee shop apparently used to cook the scrambled eggs with their steam ones. That was about 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
And then he also says, good work to all of you guys. So,
Is that Adam from Little Cove?
I'm not sure Adam Broussard.
No. No, Little Cove. A different Adam.
Yeah, we can end it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we